Good morning, everyone. As we have done the nutrition in the plants and the basic type of the modes of nutrition in the living organisms, like we have described about the parasitic nutrition, we have defined about the different kind of nutrition like saprozoic nutrition. Okay, so now the next one is the holozoic nutrition. I have already introduced you that what is the holozoic nutrition. So if we define the holozoic nutrition, it is that it is kind of nutrition where the 5 steps they are involved. These 5 steps, they are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and last one is egestion. So these 5 steps, they are involved in the kind of nutrition which is holozoic nutrition. This holozoic nutrition, it takes place in amoeba as well as in the human beings also. So let us begin with the simpler type of organism which undergoes the holozoic nutrition, that is amoeba. We all know that amoeba, it is the unicellular organism. Basically it belongs to the group Protista. Clear? So here in amoeba, we all are familiar that amoeba, it is unicellular, so single cell, it has to perform the various kinds of functions. Okay, and the shape of amoeba, it is irregular, indefinite, we can say. Clear? So what happen, this amoeba, when the food it approaches near to the amoeba, what can happen, what happens basically, this entire surface of amoeba, it is helpful in taking the food. Okay, so the plasma membrane of amoeba, it is flexible and it forms a specialized organ called as pseudopodia around the food particle. So as the food particle it approaches near to the amoeba, what happen, the amoeba it form a outgrowth from their body, from the plasma membrane. That outgrowth, it is called as pseudopodia. Okay, so that pseudopodia, what does it do, that pseudopodia it cover the food particle from all the side and get fused from all sides around the food particle. And when this pseudopodia it get fused from all the sides, it form a structure called as the food vacuole. Now this food vacuole, it is just like the stomach in the human beings. This food vacuole, it stores the food for some time, and here in the food vacuole what happen, there are various digestive enzymes present over there. These digestive enzymes, what they do, they break up the complex food into the simpler form. Okay, now the simpler form that is broken down, that is easily digested by the amoeba, and all the soluble products, okay, all the soluble nutrients, they are absorbed by the surrounding cytoplasm, and जो insoluble material रह जाता है, that is the waste product, that is what that is then remain in the vacuole. And when the vacuole come nearby to the membrane of the amoeba, as it fuses with the membrane of the amoeba, it bursts out and all the waste product, it is released out via the egestion process. Okay, so if we talk about the ingestion, ingestion is done by the pseudopodia. Digestion, it takes place in the food vacuole. Okay, then third, absorption and assimilation, it takes place in the cytoplasm. Okay, and finally egestion takes place again in the vacuole. Clear? So now that was the important question. इस यहाँ से डायग्राम भी पूछा जाता है कि describe the holozoic nutrition in amoeba. So what you have to do, you have to draw the diagram that is given in your book, okay, along with the complete labeling, and you have to describe the various steps in the amoeba. Clear? You have to remember the important terms like pseudopodia, food vacuole, what is the function of food vacuole, okay. All these terms, they are very important in this part. So next we come to the next topic, that is nutrition in human beings. Now this is again very important topic, nutrition in human beings. Now these human beings, we all are human beings, we all show again the holozoic nutrition, okay. Again we have 5 steps in our process of digestion, I must say, or nutrition, I must say. Digestion is one of the steps, okay. So in our nutrition mode, again we are following the 5 steps. The first one is ingestion, then digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. To perform all these functions, we have a specialized system called as the digestive system. Now this digestive system in human beings, it is divided into 2 parts. One is the alimentary canal and second one, they are the associated digestive glands. Now why have used the word associated digestive glands over here? Now this digestive system, the alimentary canal, the main part is alimentary canal. All the glands which are participating, which are helpful in digestion, they are associated with the alimentary canal. So that's why we can say that these are the associated digestive glands, okay. So let's begin with the alimentary canal. Side by side we will cover the digestive system complete, that is with alimentary canal and digestive glands, okay. So first of all, I will describe the diagram to you. The human digestive system, it starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. So this kind of digestive system, it is called as the complete digestive system. So human beings, they have complete digestive system which starts from the mouth and ends in the anus, okay. So from the mouth, if we start, we are having the buccal cavity, then we move to the another part, that is the food pipe or esophagus. Now this esophagus, it leads to the stomach, stomach leads to the small intestine and small intestine further leads to the large intestine. So this was the alimentary canal, okay, you can see in the diagram. And if we talk about the associated digestive gland, so first associated digestive gland, it is present in our buccal cavity, or we can say in the simpler way, the cavity in the mouth region, okay. So that gland is the salivary gland. Then comes the another digestive associated glands, that is the liver and pancreas, okay. Liver and pancreas, they are also the associated glands. Along with this, intestine, that is the small intestine, it also perform like the glands which participate in digestion, or we can say which help in digestion. So let's begin with the detail of the digestive system, and the first part that we will cover is the alimentary canal. Now this alimentary canal, if we talk about, it is 8 to 9 meter in length. It is a tube-like structure through which the food passes during the digestion and absorption process, okay. So as I have already discussed with you, that alimentary canal, it begins from the mouth and ends to the anus, okay. माउथ से इंजेशन स्टार्ट होता है और एनस पे ईजेशन होता है. सो फर्स्ट स्टेप वाज इंजेशन एंड द लास्ट स्टेप इन द होलोजोइक न्यूट्रिशन इज egestion. So the process of nutrition starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. So the first part, it is mouth. It is the transverse aperture for the intake of food, which is bounded by two movable lips. Okay, so this is the transverse aperture. Clear? This is the transverse side. So this is the transverse aperture which is guarded by the two protected lips. Okay, and when we open the mouth, हमने बचपन में एक poem सुनी हुई है, जोनी जोनी yes papa. Okay, I hope you all are familiar with this poem. So this poem ends in a sentence like just we will repeat this rhyme again. Choni choni yes papa, eating sugar no papa, telling lie no papa, open your mouth ha ha ha. तो जब हम ha 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 बोलते हैं, the wider cavity between the two lips, that is the buccal cavity. Okay, so it is enclosed between the two powerful jaws. अब हम जैसे ही माउथ ओपन करते हैं, हमारे पास टू पावरफुल जॉज होते हैं, अपर जॉ एंड दी लोअर जॉ. ओके, सो these this upper jaw, it is fixed, it is we can't move this. Okay, but we can move the lower jaw, you can say. Clear? So lower jaw is movable and both the jaws, they bear the teeth. Now if we observe our buccal cavity, there are different kind of organs present in the buccal cavity. One is the tongue. Okay, tongue, it is the flattened, movable and protrusible structure attached posteriorly. If we open the mouth, this tongue is the flattened, flat होती है tongue, movable है and protrusible, मतलब बाहर निकल सकती है tongue, protrude हो जाती है बाहर की तरफ. Clear? And we all are familiar that this tongue, it bears the various taste buds. So if we see the taste buds, there are different taste buds located in our tongue. So I have located the various taste buds. Okay, so you can take the view. Now this tongue, it helps in moving the food and cleaning the teeth. ओके, अगर हम डाइजेशन की बात करें तो टंग क्या करती है, फूड को मूव करने में हेल्प करती है, और वी कैन से इट हेल्प्स इन swallowing ऑफ द फूड. क्लियर? नाउ द सेकेंड पार्ट दैट इज प्रेजेंट इन आवर बकल कैविटी इज teeth. Okay, now if we have to define the teeth, we have to learn some kind of the terms. These terms, they are very important for your competitive exams also and for your final exams also. The first condition is heterodont. Human beings, they are heterodont because they are having 4 types of teeth in their jaws. Okay, I hope you all are familiar that which kind of teeth they are having. What are the 4 kinds? These are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Okay, so as 4 type of teeth they are present in our jaw, this condition is called as heterodont condition. Then comes the thecodont condition. Thecodont means that partially the teeth, they are embedded in the sockets of jaw bones. आपने देखा हुआ है कि सॉकेट्स बने होते हैं, उसके अंदर हम स्विचेस डालते हैं. इसी तरह से जो हमारे टीथ हैं वो हमारे जॉ के अंदर सॉकेट्स बने हुए हैं, उनके अंदर क्या है, दे आर फिक्स्ड. सो दैट कंडीशन वेयर द टीथ दे आर फिक्स्ड इन द sockets of jaw bones, this condition is called as thecodont condition. Now the next condition is diphodont condition. Di means 2. Okay, so diphodont condition means human beings, they are having 2 sets of teeth during their lifetime. One is the temporary teeth. These temporary teeth, they are replaced by the permanent teeth. Okay, now if we talk about the structure of the teeth, they are made of ivory like structure called as the dentine. The material by which our teeth is made, that is called as the dentine. Now the exposed part of the teeth, they are further covered by the shining hard structure called as the enamel. Now this enamel is the hardest structure, okay, that is present in our body. तो जो हमारे टीथ का जो अपर पार्ट है वो एक मोती के जैसा होता है और उसके ऊपर एक कवरिंग होती है, एक शाइनी कोटिंग होती है. ओके, दैट शाइनी कोटिंग, दैट शाइनी हार्डेस्ट स्ट्रक्चर, इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज enamel. So if we describe the various 4 types of the teeth, so incisors, they are सबसे पहले मैंने शेप को डिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है, फिर मैंने उसके फंक्शंस डिस्क्राइब किए हुए हैं. सो इंसीजर्स, दे आर ऑफ चाइसल शेप एंड दे आर यूज्ड फॉर बाइटिंग. कैनाइन्स, दे आर डैगर लाइक. ओके, जो क्या करते हैं, कैनाइन्स क्या करते हैं, किसी भी चीज़ को फाड़ने में हेल्प करते हैं, टेयरिंग में हेल्प करते हैं. सो दे आर शेप्ड फॉर टेयरिंग. प्रीमोलर्स, दे आर यूज्ड फॉर ग्राइंडिंग एंड मोलर्स, दे आर कस्पिड शेप. ओके, बीच में ऐसे इस तरह से एक डिप्रेशन होता है मोलर्स एंड प्री मोलर्स में, फॉर क्रशिंग एंड ग्राइंडिंग द फूड particles. The next part that you have to remember over here, it is the dental formula. It's very easy for the human beings. 2 1 2 3 upon 2 1 2 3 into 2. 2 1 2 3 means we are having 2 incisors, 2 incisors, then canines, then premolars and then molars into 2. It means 16. अगर आप इनको 2 1 plus 2 to 4 5 6 7 8 8 upon 8 into 2 यानी we are having 32 teeth. तो 16 हो गए अपर जॉ में, 16 हो गए लोअर जॉ में. Is that clear? Now we all are familiar with the term dental caries also. Dental caries, it is the kind of problem that is related with the tooth. We all know that in common words, हमने chemistry में भी tooth decay के बारे में पढ़ा हुआ है, the cavities that are produced in our teeth. So they are the cavities that are formed in the teeth due to the activity of the bacteria, and the name of the bacteria is Streptococcus mutans. This bacteria, it feeds on basically the sugar food. Okay, जैसे ये शुगर के ऊपर, जैसे शुगर हमारे टीथ के अंदर रह जाती है, हम प्रॉपर थोरोली क्लीनिंग अगर नहीं कर पाते टीथ की, तो क्या होता है हमारे दांत के अंदर शुगर क्या हो जाती है, शुगर पार्टिकल्स, या फिर जो भी हम चपाती खाते हैं, राइस खाते हैं, दे ऑल्सो कंटेन शुगर. अब आपको पता है माउथ के अंदर डाइजेशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगी, आप अभी पढ़ोगे. ओके, जैसे ही डाइजेशन स्टार्ट होती है तो जो कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स हैं दे आर ब्रोकन इनटू दी शुगर. तो ये जो शुगर पार्टिकल्स हैं ये हमारे टीथ में एम्बेडेड रह जाते हैं, फंस जाते हैं. क्लियर? तो वहाँ पर क्या होता है, ये बैक्टीरिया ग्रो करना स्टार्ट करता है एंड दे स्टार्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग दी एसिड. ओके, लैक्टिक एसिड प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. ये जो लैक्टिक एसिड होती है ये हमारे टीथ को करोड करती है एंड इट डिज़ोल्व दी इनेमल पार्ट ऑफ दी टीथ. जैसे इनेमल करोड होने लग जाती है, डिस्ट्रॉय होने लग जाती है, इट प्रोड्यूस दी कैविटी ओवर देयर एंड दैट प्रॉब्लम इज कॉल्ड एज डेंटल caries. Okay, so how can we prevent these kind of dental caries? By brushing the teeth we can prevent it. Okay, if we brush our teeth after the meals that we take, it will prevent the dental caries as it will remove all the kind of plaques, जो जम जाता है हमारे दांतों के आसपास मटेरियल, उसको रिमूव करने में हेल्प करता है. साथ ही साथ जो हम कोलगेट यूज़ करते हैं, जो हम टूथपेस्ट यूज़ करते हैं, वो क्या है, इट इज़ काइंड ऑफ द बेस. सो माउथ के अंदर की जो एसिडिटी है, जो लैक्टिक एसिड प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है जिसकी वजह से बैक्टीरिया की वजह से जो डिग्रेडेशन हो रही है टीथ की, टूथपेस्ट क्या करता है, उसको न्यूट्रलाइज कर लेता है. इज़ दैट क्लियर? सो इफ़ वी आर यूजिंग द टूथपेस्ट, इफ़ वी आर क्लीनिंग आवर माउथ, ओके, व्हाट विल हैपन, ये जो बैक्टीरिया, जो शुगर पार्टिकल्स हैं ये एक्यूमुलेट नहीं होंगे. ये एक्यूमुलेट नहीं होंगे तो बैक्टीरिया ग्रो नहीं करेगा एंड हमारे जो टीथ हैं वो हेल्दी रहेंगे. ओके, कई बार जब हमें डेंटल कैरीज होती हैं और वो इंक्रीज होती रहती है तो वो जो हमारे टीथ के अंदर पल्प प्रेजेंट होती है वहाँ तक पहुँच जाता है एंड इट रिजल्ट्स इन दी सिवियर पेन एज वेल एज द फॉलिंग ऑफ द टीथ ऑल्सो. ओके, नाउ इफ़ वी रिमेंबर, अभी मैंने बताया था, देयर इज़ अ ग्लैंड, अ फर्स्ट digestive gland, that is the salivary gland, that is associated with the mouth region. Okay, so it is the first digestive gland. Clear? So this salivary gland, here 3 pairs are present. Again, important question for your competitive exams. How many salivary glands they are present? Total 6, or we can say 3 pairs they are present in our buccal cavity. Now, what is the function of the salivary gland? This salivary gland, it produces the saliva in the buccal cavity. Okay. Now, as I have already discussed with you, there are 3 pairs. So, what are these 3 pairs? What are the names? Parotid gland, submaxillary gland and sublingual gland. Parotid glands, they are present below the ears. Clear? Submaxillary, they are present in the lower jaws. Clear? And sublingual, they are present below the tongue. So these are the positions and these are the 3 sets of, or 3 pairs of the salivary gland. So this saliva, it is mainly made up of mucus and water which lubricates the food. Okay, हम जो भी food खाते हैं, टीथ उनको ग्राइंड करते हैं, ठीक है, और क्रश कर देते हैं, तो वो जो फूड पार्टिकल्स हैं उनको एक इकट्ठा स्ट्रक्चर में जो बाउंड कर कर रखता है, लुब्रिकेट करता है, उनको इकट्ठा जोड़ता है, दैट इज़ द सलाइवा. ओके, एंड दिस सलाइवा इट इज़ हैविंग एंटीमाइक्रोबियल एंजाइम्स लाइक लाइजोजाइम्स. इट इज़ एंटीमाइक्रोबियल एंजाइम, यानी जो हमारे फूड के अंदर हार्मफुल जर्म्स होते हैं, माइक्रोब्स होते हैं, उनके अगेंस्ट काम करती है. नाउ आर saliva, it is having one digestive enzyme called as the ptyalin or the salivary amylase. Now this ptyalin or salivary amylase, it is the one and the same thing. What is the function of this ptyalin enzyme or the salivary amylase? This salivary amylase, it will convert the starch into the maltose. Okay, maltose is the kind of sugar. Okay, so this saliva, as I have discussed with you, it moistened the food, that was crushed by the teeth, and that crushed food, when it is mixed with when it is softened with the saliva, it is converted into small ball like structure which is swallowed easily. That small ball like structure, that clump of the food, the rolled food which is mixed with the saliva, it is called as bolus. Okay, this bolus then pass to the pharynx. Now what is pharynx? Pharynx, it is the common passage, common pathway for the windpipe as well as the food pipe. यानी ये common रास्ता है जहाँ से food pipe और windpipe move करते हैं. Okay, now this food pipe and windpipe, they are covered by a flap like structure called as epiglottis. It is called as epiglottis. Okay, so now the next part, that our buccal cavity via pharynx, it leads to the another part of the alimentary canal, that is esophagus. Commonly esophagus is known as the food pipe. Okay, so it is again the muscular tube which connects the buccal cavity with the stomach. Now very important thing which is related with the esophagus is the movement of food in the esophagus. Now the food, it moves in the food pipe in the form of wave like motion. कभी कभी contraction होता है, relaxation होता है, contraction होता है, relaxation होता है, तो ये जो rhythmic movement है food की, वो food pipe में चलती है, and this rhythmic contraction and relaxation of food, it is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. ओके, यहाँ से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आता है आपके कम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम में भी और फाइनल एग्जाम में भी कि व्हाट इज़ पेरिस्टालिसिस, एंड ये जो मूवमेंट है ये कहाँ होती है. सो व्हाट इज़ पेरिस्टालिसिस? इट इज़ द मूवमेंट ऑफ फूड इन द ईसोफेगस इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिदमिक कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड relaxation. Clear? So now the esophagus, as I have described to you, it leads to the stomach. Now stomach, it is J-shaped widest part of the alimentary canal which secrete the digestive juices. Okay, and these special digestive juices, they are named as the gastric juices. So the word gastric, it is related with the stomach. Now this gastric juice, or that is secreted by the stomach, it contains various chemicals like HCl, mucus and enzyme known as pepsin. HCl, we all are familiar that it is hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid is one of the strong acid, हमने acid basis में chemistry में पढ़ा था. Okay, so this HCl, as I have discussed the role of HCl in chemistry lecture also. What is the main function of HCl? Firstly, it disinfects the food. जितने भी microbes हैं harmful, ये उनको क्या कर देता है? Kill कर देता है, सफाया कर देता है उनका. And secondly, it maintains the acidity. हमारी stomach के अंदर ये acidity maintain करता है. अब आपके दिमाग में question आएगा कि what is the role of maintaining the acidity in the stomach? एसिडिटी का क्या काम है स्टमक में? सो एसिडिटी क्या करती है हमारी स्टमक में? जो पेप्सिन एंजाइम है, फर्स्टली इट इज़ प्रेजेंट इन द इनएक्टिव फॉर्म. ठीक है, इनएक्टिव फॉर्म में होती है जिसको पेप्सिनोजन बोलते हैं. तो पेप्सिनोजन जैसे ही HCl के कॉन्टैक्ट में आता है, इट बिकम्स एक्टिव. वो एक्टिव हो जाती है. पहले इनएक्टिव है पेप्सिनोजन की फॉर्म में, जैसे ही वो HCl के कॉन्टैक्ट में आती है पेप्सिनोजन, इट इज़ कन्वर्टेड इनटू द पेप्सिन. Now this pepsin, this active enzyme, it is helpful in the digestion of the proteins. Okay, so protein in the presence of pepsin, it is converted into the simpler form, that is proteose and peptones. Clear? Now the stomach, another function is it helps in churning of the food. Okay, mixing of the food with the gastric juices. Okay, and this gastric juice, as I have already discussed with you, it helps in the breakdown of the food particles into the simpler form. Clear? So the semi digested food that passes from the stomach to the small intestine, that food is called as chyme. So again the definition is important, that what is chyme? Chyme is the semi digested food. Semi means halfly digested, partially digested food. Okay, now this chyme, it passes from the stomach to the duodenum. Duodenum is the part of small intestine which is guarded by again a flap like structure called as the sphincter. तो अब आपने सुना होगा कि हमें खाना खाते टाइम बोलना नहीं चाहिए. अभी मैंने आपको एपिग्लोटिस के बारे में बताया था. Epiglottis, it is the flap like structure which is covering both the food pipe as well as the windpipe. तो अगर हम खाना खाते टाइम बोलते हैं तो क्या होता है, ये जो फ्लैप है ये दोनों के ऊपर से रिमूव हो जाती है और एक्सीडेंटली कई बार क्या हो जाता है, जो हमारा फूड है वो फूड पाइप की जगह पर कहाँ पर मूव कर जाता है, विंड पाइप में चला जाता है, एंड इट ब्लॉक्स द विंड पाइप, इट चॉक्स द विंड पाइप विच कैन इवन बी फेटल. क्लियर? सो when we are taking food, it is prohibited that you have to talk. Okay, आपको कभी भी खाना खाते टाइम नहीं बोलना चाहिए. ओके, हमारे बड़े बुजुर्ग हमें मना करते हैं कि हमें खाना खाते टाइम नहीं बोलना चाहिए. ओके, सो दिस इज़ द साइंटिफिक फैक्ट अराउंड दैट. ओके, बिहाइंड दैट आई मस्ट से. नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द मेन टॉपिक, दैट नाउ द फूड फ्रॉम स्टमक इट विल एंटर टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, दैट इज़ द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. ओके, सबसे काम की चीज़ है स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम का, बिकॉज यहाँ पर स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में आई एम मैंशनिंग इट इन स्टार्टिंग ओनली, डाइजेशन कंप्लीट्स इन स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन and absorption, the maximum part of absorption also takes place in the small intestine. तो मैंने यहाँ पर दो चीज़ें बताई small intestine के लिए. First one, that digestion it will complete in the small intestine. Secondly, absorption, the maximum part of absorption, it also takes place in the small intestine. Now name is small intestine, but here I am mentioning that it is the longest part of the alimentary canal. So the question arises over here, so why it is named as small intestine? The word small intestine is not related with the length of the intestine, it is related with the diameter of the intestine. Is that clear? So the diameter of the intestine is smaller as compared to the large intestine. Okay, so it is about 6 meter in length. It is highly coiled, यानी ये coiled structure है, and it is differentiated into 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Clear? So duodenum, it is the first part which receives the secretion from the liver and pancreas and also the gastric juices. यानी stomach के जितनी secretions हैं, जो काइम था, ठीक है, associated glands हैं, liver, pancreas, they all enter to the small intestine via the duodenum. Okay, and intestine, as I have already discussed with you, it is also behaving like the gland, and they also secrete some kind of juices, that is the intestinal juices, which is called as succus entericus. Okay, now the walls of intestine, it contains various numerous finger like projections which are called as villi. यानी जो wall होती है small intestine की, उसके ऊपर क्या present होता है, villi present होते हैं, finger like projection. जैसे brush होता है ना, brush के ऊपर hairs होते हैं, इस तरह का ब्रश बॉर्डर प्रेजेंट होता है, स्मॉल स्मॉल माइन्यूट फिंगर लाइक प्रोजेक्शन, जिनको बोलते हैं विलाई. These villi, they help in increasing the surface area so that maximum absorption can occur. Okay, these villi, they are richly supplied with the blood vessels and the lymph vessels. Blood vessels, they carry blood, and lymph vessels, they carry the lymph. Lymph is also the connective tissue which helps in the digestion of fats. So the semi digested food, it enter to the duodenum from the stomach, and that food is acidic. Okay, so ये जो acidic food है, it is neutralized and made alkaline by the secretion of the liver, which is called as the bile juice. Okay, so the liver is one of the associated digestive gland. Again, it is the largest digestive gland and it secretes a juice called as the bile juice. Now this bile juice, it has no digestive enzyme, but then again it is very important for the digestion. ये question भी बहुत important है कि bile juice के पास कोई digestive enzyme नहीं है, फिर भी bile juice, it is very important for the digestion of food. How? So this bile juice, it breaks the fat into the small globules. जो fat है उसको digest होने से पहले ये जो bile juice है क्या करता है, छोटी छोटी droplets में convert करता है ताकि वो easily absorb हो जाए. ओके, तो उसको simpler droplets में convert करता है. That process is called as emulsification of fat. So this emulsified fat, which is now converted into small droplets, it can be worked upon by the lipase enzyme further. ये जो lipase enzyme है, ये fat को digest करने में क्या करती है, help करती है. Okay, so that was about the liver and its function. Now we move to the pancreas. Pancreas is again one of the associated gland. One more thing, अब जो liver की secretion है, जो bile juice है, it is secreted by liver, but it is stored in another small structure called as the gallbladder. You can see in the diagram, liver, it is having two lobes, then gallbladder is there and pancreas is there. Okay, so you can see the diagram over here. Clear? So next is the pancreas.